bioceramic materials. Now, أنا عارف إن there's a lot of hype in the dental market على bioceramics. The companies are selling you bioceramic sealers because there's a flash name of bioceramic. Because there's this concept that bioceramic materials are non-irritant. Okay? And these bioceramic non-irritant materials are the solution. Because even if you push this material out into the apex, no problem. Okay? طبعا you're not supposed to push any material out into the apex. سواء كانت a bioceramic material or any other material. You should always try to limit your materials to the canal, because even bioceramic materials can create mechanical irritation. This is physically in the apical tissues attached to the root canals, so this can be a mechanical irritant to your apical area. ده معناه the fact that it's bioceramic or it is well accepted by the tissues doesn't mean that I need to fill the tissues with them. Okay, this concept needs to be clarified. Okay, so what are bioceramic materials? If you go online, and there's a big debate in AMD that the materials that we consider bioceramic are not bioceramic. They should be called calcium silicate materials, sorry, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The terminology was hydraulic calcium silicate materials. Hydraulic calcium silicate materials. And hydraulic doesn't mean that they're under pressure, it means that they become hydrated. Because the way bioceramics set is by moisture. They need moisture to set. Okay, so the proper terminology now for the materials that we call bioceramic are hydraulic calcium silicate materials, or calcium silicate based materials. المهم, if you go up to a kitab dentistry and you'll find out what is bioceramic. They are ceramic materials specifically designed for use in medicine and dentistry. They include alumina, zirconia, bioactive glass, glass ceramics, hydroxyapatites, and resorbable calcium phosphates. So this definition is based on التكوين, what it's made out of. Another definition would be a bioactive material is one that elicits a specific biological response at the interface, which results in the formation of bond between the tissues and the material. So هنا bioceramic means something else, or bioactive. Bioactive, this is what bioactive means. Bioceramic is something else. But most bioceramic materials are bioactive. Not all. نفرق ما بين what a bioceramic material is based on التكوين بتاعه and what a bioactive material is, which means that when it comes in contact with tissue, it will create at the interface, it will result in the formation of a bond between the tissues and the material. What does this mean? What is a bond? How can you have a bond between a non-vital material and a vital material? Is it chemical in nature? It's mechanical in nature, just like an implant. An implant, there is no chemical bond between the titanium and the bone. You have an irregular titanium implant with irregularities. What I want is maximum interface. I want the bone and the implant to interface together, and if they interface together, the irregularities of my bone will interlock with the irregularities of my implant, and it will prevent it physically from dislodging. The same with bioactive materials. What makes it bioactive or not is درجة الadaptation of tissues onto the surface. How adapted are my tissues to the surface of this material? That's one thing. The other thing is there's a chemical aspect للموضوع in which if the hydration reaction of bioceramic materials release phosphate and calcium ions, it encourages the formation of hydroxyapatite قصاده. So you have a chemical response and you also have an adhesive response. And if my bioceramic materials are set and they don't release any calcium or phosphorus, what I want is my tissues to heal very well onto the surface of the material. That's why we use it now as root end fillings. In root end fillings, you want the bone to heal right onto the surface of the cut root and right onto the surface of the bioceramic material. Now, if we had amalgam placed in a root canal, root end filling, you would never get adaptation of tissue onto amalgam. What you'd get an area space فيها serous fluid, وقصاد فيها you would never find the bone جاي لازق على الايه؟ على الامالجم. في حين when you have a bioceramic material or a bioactive material, the bone heals onto the surface of the material and is very well adapted, creating an interface اللي احنا اتكلمنا عليه, in which sometimes you will get a bond between the tissue and the material. If there's irregularities on the surface of the material and the tissues, they heal on these irregularities, even if it's in the nanoscale. So what we want is adaptation. So what are the most commonly used materials? You've got MTA and MTA substitutes, you've got bioaggregate, you've got biodentin, you've got total fill. These are a few of the names. There are tons on the market because the market is thirsty for this type of idea.